On this channel, we've shown a series of maps we like to call the oldest maps of Africa. The maps show interesting artifacts and elaborate buildings with towers and spires pointing to the sky. But here's the problem. These maps were created long before colonization took place in the region. So were these towers real? Did Africa have massive structures before it became civilized? Or were they mere figments of the mapmaker's imagination? We've shown you schools in America, in South Africa, impossibly built structures, constructed in record time by allegedly tiny communities with no power tools. We've shown you how many of these buildings appear to be buried under mud, schools that were clearly found, not built. On this channel, we're investigating the leftovers of a forgotten civilization, a civilization that mastered air travel long before the Wright brothers came along. Not just hot air balloons and rickety contraptions, but a vast, sophisticated network of airships and docking stations. Towers weren't just towers, they were built for something. But the sky wasn't their only domain. Their legacy lies beneath our feet as well. Every major city on Earth has a forgotten tunnel network beneath the streets, left behind by the old world. Tunnels for trains, tunnels for people, and tunnels for gas and steam. Even Cape Town and Johannesburg have tunnels so extensive, no one knows where they end. But this wasn't some alien race of master builders, it was us. We were this advanced civilization once upon a time. But then, as always, greedy businessmen, conveniently aligned with politicians, saw an opportunity. They hit the reset button. They buried the old world under laws, regulations, and lots of mud. Literal mud. You see, the old world didn't run on coal and oil, it ran on gas and steam. And they found a way to ignite it. Cities exploded. The ground liquefied, stone structures swallowed by mud, thousands of buildings buried, abandoned, forgotten. We've seen the oldest photos of Cape Town and Johannesburg that show no streets, just horses, wagons, and mud. No sidewalks, no paving, just mud and horse manure. Yet somehow the buildings look like they're fresh out of Rome or Constantinople, as if they were handcrafted by God himself. But we hadn't figured out how to build roads yet. Buildings of impeccable design and strong enough to last 1,000 years, but no roads. We've seen the buildings with windows and doors that appear to be halfway underground, in major cities all over the world and in South Africa. You thought that was just strange architecture? Why would anyone dig out tons of gravel by hand for a basement? Why not just build the extra floor on top? It's called a mud flood, and it's no accident. If you saw our first video on air travel, you'll know how technology was stripped from the people and buried in a rewritten history. Architecture? No different. Much of the old world's architecture was buried in mud, somewhere in the 1700s or 1800s, and the protruding remains left to the wolves. The colonizers didn't build these structures. They found them. They found entire cities, already standing, already engineered. And what did they do? They repurposed them. They hosted exhibitions, festivals, and world's fairs inside them, then demolished the evidence. Doesn't it seem strange that all around the world, at the same time, enormous exhibition complexes appeared out of nowhere? Upon further investigation, one realizes that they all have the same backstory. We're told that they're thrown together in a few months. Temporary structures built of wood and plaster for a single event or fair. But what we see in the photographs? Massive domes, gigantic arches, towering facades, architecture that looks as if it belongs in ancient Rome. Each fair had national exhibits, one per country, to showcase progress, the latest gadgets, steam technology, electricity. But these weren't pop-up tents or shacks. These were megastructures. And after the fair, they were supposedly destroyed? Really? Do these look temporary to you? Or do they look like something that's been inherited? Repurposed, rebranded, part of a forgotten civilization now being wiped from the map. Let's talk electricity. Some of these expositions had lighting we would never see in the modern world. Lights so bright, people couldn't tell if it was night or day. One exposition, the 1904 St. Louis Exposition, claimed to have over 1 million light bulbs. 1 million, for a temporary festival, during a recession. Who installs 1 million light bulbs for a temporary fair? It just doesn't make sense. And that's not even the craziest part. Many of these fairs had fully functional underground electrical systems. Subways, tunnels, interconnected waterways, wired from top to bottom, lit corner to corner. I wonder if installing millions of light bulbs for a temporary fair is the craziest part of all this. I mean, there wouldn't be a World's Fair that actually had all of the above-mentioned lakes, waterways, and underground tunnels, would there? Welcome to the White City, the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. A metropolis built in just 2 years, covering over 600 acres, with grand classical architecture and stunning neoclassical palaces. They say it was built of temporary plaster and wood, but photographs suggest otherwise. The level of detail, the sheer size. Does this look like a temporary fairground? Or does it look like an ancient, advanced civilization? Does this look like something we can build today? The fair featured an underground electrical subway system designed to distribute power efficiently across the expansive fairgrounds. This network connected the central electrical plant and machinery hall to various exhibition buildings, including those dedicated to mining, electricity, manufacturing, government, and fisheries. While constructed primarily for utility purposes, this subterranean system exemplified the fair's innovative spirit. The fair occurred during an economic crisis known as the Panic of 1893. That's right, the World's Columbian Exposition was a financial success right in the middle of a recession. It attracted over 27 million visitors, generating substantial revenue and leaving a lasting impact on Chicago's economy and global reputation. How does someone attract 27 million people to a fair in the middle of a recession? Clearly another anomaly. The World's Fairs weren't temporary, and they weren't built of plaster and wood. They were marble and stone and found by the pioneers and colonizers of the day, who then hosted the fairs in the buildings, made a lot of money, and destroyed the evidence. Buildings that were strong enough to last 1,000 years were lost forever. There were many World's Fairs all over the world. South Africa had World's Fairs too. Cape Town, Kimberley, Johannesburg. But good luck finding detailed records. They seem to be far and few between. And if you know something, please send it through to us. These fairs weren't about showing off progress and playing with gadgets. They were covering up a civilization that came before us. A civilization that had an interconnected system of airship docking stations all over the world. This is Anomaly Africa. We're not just making videos, we're restoring memory. Follow us for more.